3, 2, 1, here we go. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Writers on the Web. I'm here with Blake Sports Center Don O'Brien alongside Blake Toppmeyer, Matt Schuckman, getting ready for another weekend of high school basketball action. Busy weekend for both Quincy, Notre Dame, and Quincy High School. Schuck, the Quincy High School boys, on the road for 2 games this weekend. They go up to God's Country on Friday night, also known as Galesburg, for a Big 6 game.
I said we're actually leaving Adams County this weekend, so
But they're going up to God's Country.
Yeah, to get a victory.
And then they go over to the capital city on Saturday to play Springfield High. Assess what's coming up for the Blue Devils.
First game's away from home this season. Started with 5 in a row at home, including the tournament. 4-1 the Devils are after splitting games last weekend. Get a Galesburg team kind of almost in a rebuilding mode. You know, had a great senior class graduate. So Galesburg coming along, though, hasn't played bad for as many young kids as they've played. They've got a 6'5" kid who did not play last year, who's back in the program, who has been putting up double-doubles, a kid named Aslan Butler, who will be a challenge inside, just like, you know, D'Angelo Dean better get used to it. He's going to see guys thrown at him that are his size or bigger constantly this year. He's going to have a challenge ahead of him. Aslan sounds like he's quite a player. So Galesburg, you know, and Field Gym, never an easy place to play, is it?
Never an easy place to go. What about Saturday? What do the Senators bring?
Senators, very athletic, very quick, guard-oriented. They'll push the pace. Quincy's, it's almost like a mirror. It's almost an East Moline, like last week when they played East Moline, a team very similar to Quincy. I think it'll be a great game over there.
Two road games for Quincy High School. Blake, the Quincy Notre Dame boys, home Friday night, on the road on Saturday. Central, not quite the Central team that we saw last year on Friday night, and then on Saturday night, a Hannibal team that's just rolling right now.
Yeah, as far as Central goes, Notre Dame's been looking forward to this game since before the season started. The Raiders really wanted to see Central in the championship of the tip-off tournament. Didn't happen, so now they have this one kind of circled on their calendar. Central really handed it to QD twice last year, and they have not forgotten that. They want to get a little revenge on Friday, and this might be an opportunity to do so. Central playing a little bit better now, I think, now that they got Austin Dormeyer back in the lineup. He'd missed early in the season, missed some games from an injury that was lingering from football, but still probably a game QD should win, but they're going to have to win a little more at a slower pace, I think, if Central's able to dictate things. Notre Dame's last few games has liked to get up and down the court. I don't think they're going to be able to do that as much against Central. Hannibal is probably the best team in the area right now. The way they're rolling, undefeated going into their game Friday against Boonville. They're sitting at 6-0. So I think the Raiders are definitely going to have a test there. Hannibal's just got a senior-oriented team that's kind of looking to go out in a big way this year, and so far is moving toward that.
So a busy weekend for the Quincy teams. We've got some tournament action going on this week up at Unity with the girls tournament. Monroe City has their boys and girls tournaments. I'll throw it there to each one of you guys. Anything from the area that's kind of piqued your interest basketball-wise these first couple weeks of the season?
A couple things on the boys' side. Monroe City got its first win, broke a 35-game losing streak. Anxious to see what Brock Idris, Carthage product who played at John Wood, how he can get that program kind of righted. They've really struggled. But to see them get a win and get off on the right foot and then be competitive in their second game was nice to see. On this side of the river, Grigsville Perry putting together a nice little run after stubbing its toe a couple times in a very good Pittsfield Thanksgiving tournament. They seem to kind of be a team coming together. And Brown County trying to find its way without Tim Woodward, who's out for the season with the knee injury. You know, they're the number 1 seed at the North Green tournament. You know, there's a lot of teams you're starting to see kind of find their feet now. You know, week 2, week 3, as we move along, you're starting to see teams kind of find their groove a little bit.
Anything stick out for you early on?
I'll just throw out a couple on the girls' side. A story that Matt is writing about for Thursday's paper on Olivia Nelson. She's really, just the scores I've seen coming across on her, really been impressive. Dropped 37, I believe it was, about a week ago. And does she have another 30 point
Yeah, she followed that up with a 31-point game.
Yeah, had a good season last year, but had a lot of other talent around her. Some of that talent from last year's team has since graduated, but she's kind of kept them almost single-handedly in the picture as far as relevant area teams. And then the Palmyra girls, a team that I thought would be pretty decent this year, have shown that so far. And I believe Palmyra and Marion County both in the Monroe City tournament, and on a kind of a collision course for the championship game, I think, which, you know, Toppmeyer is a team, maybe one of the few teams in the area, I think that could give Marion County a bit of a game. So that could be interesting.
When we sat in here in the fall, Blake, I asked you early on. It was 10 games into their season, and Notre Dame's not quite to that from the girls' side. I asked you when Quincy High School girls are going to finally have a loss. Quincy Notre Dame got through what was supposed to be a tough weekend last weekend, beating Springfield, beating Sacred Heart Griffin. Where do the Notre Dame girls stub their toe?
There's two possibilities. One is against Columbia Rockbridge at the John Wood Shootout. Rockbridge is very good, have a 6'4" freshman, I believe, who's very good, and they took Notre Dame to overtime last season. I think Notre Dame will win that game, but I wouldn't be totally stunned if they lost. The other option is the final game of the season at home in the Subway Shootout against Edwardsville, a team coming off of a super sectional appearance in Class 4A last year. I'm not sure QD will get past Edwardsville. So at this point, I will say Notre Dame girls' first loss will come in the regular season finale.
And if I remember correctly, you hit it on the nose when you said Quincy High girls are going to lose their first game in volleyball, correct?
Yeah.
At that Belleville tournament. So there you go. He knows his stuff. So does he. I know nothing. I thank you for being with us again for the Sports Writers on the Web. For Blake and Matt, I'm Don. We'll talk to you again next week.